Start by melting 3 tablespoons of real butter. Once your butter's heated up, add your 1 small onion. And then to that, I'm going to add 1 container of mushrooms. And we're going to start letting those cook down. I'm letting my water heat up right here, getting ready for the pasta. So I have to wait a minute before I put my pasta in. Now that I've got my water good and heated, I'm going to go ahead and start adding my pasta. I'm going to add this whole jar. Add just a little salt to your pasta water. It helps give it some more extra flavor. I'm going to go ahead now and add a little black pepper to those mushrooms and onions. And they're putting off a lot of water, so you want to let the mushrooms and onions cook down and start caramelizing, and all that water will cook out of them too. Right here, I'm adding my 3 cloves of garlic. Now that the mushrooms and onions have cooked down some, I added just a little bit of oil so I can have some oil in my onions and mushrooms to make my roux. Now that I've got the heat back up, I'm going to add about 1.5 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. Now just give that a good mix and let that cook for about 7 to 8 minutes until all that flour taste cooks down and it won't be in your roux or gravy, whichever one you want to call this. Now right here, I'm going to go ahead now and add my broth. I'm using beef broth. You could use vegetable broth, or you can make your own broth, but this one is a 32-ounce container of beef broth. And now we're just going to give that a good mix with a whisk and get it all blended together good. And it'll start thickening up as it starts cooking down. Right here, I'm adding my 1 quart of ground beef. This is some of the ground beef that we canned just a couple weeks ago. Sure is nice to have on the pantry shelf to make your supper time easy and fast. Now we're going to drain the noodles. And we're going to put them back in the pan. to that, we're going to add a half a stick of butter, because a butter is a good thing if you're from the country. If you're from the city, you might not like a lot of butter, but us country folks, we love butter. Now that we got our butter on the noodles, we're going to give them a toss. And that coats your noodles with that butter and it'll give them extra flavor and keep them from sticking together. So just toss up those noodles until that butter melts down. And then once you get your noodles coated, to keep them warm, just set them back on the eye. And that little bit of butter keep them from sticking together. It's starting to thicken up just a little bit. And that's what we're waiting on before we add our last ingredient. We're cooking this, it's almost a one pot what's for dinner because it's hot outside, y'all. So we're trying not to cook a bunch to heat up the kitchen. I'm just making a big pot of beef stroganoff. It's a hot day today. This right here would be a good dinner too if you were like in a hurry and you just got home from work and all your kids are wanting something to eat. This don't take no time. You can have this dinner done within like 30 minutes. And I even had my ground beef done ahead of time from where we done our canning ground beef video. If y'all hadn't watched it, y'all need to go check it out, because that makes it so easy to cook your dinner fast when you have that ground beef on your pantry shelf. If any of y'all want to see what canned ground beef looks like, I'll show you. That's how it looks. And this is how you use it. Add about a half a cup of sour cream, and it's got to be Daisy. That's what we use anyway. And I'm just going to eyeball it. I'm not measuring it. That's about a half a cup, maybe a little bit more. Just going to start folding it in. And that right there is what's going to give you the creaminess of your beef stroganoff. Plus that homemade gravy sauce. Mixing it up till you get all that sour cream mixed in. Now we're going to add a little bit more black pepper, because that's what Travis likes. And I like a lot of black pepper. And then we're just gonna mix that in there. And you can see the color change since that sour cream got in it. It mixed with your gravy mixture. Now I'm gonna plate up a bowl and show you what it looks like. See how our noodles are still fluffy and they're not stuck together? Adding that little butter to them. All right, let's plate us up some. Now you can add your noodles to this, but we're gonna keep them separate today and put our beef stroganoff on top of our pasta. Fast, easy dinner when it's hot outside and you're trying not to heat up the kitchen. Easy, delicious beef stroganoff. Thanks for watching, and I hope y'all enjoy this recipe. Until the next video, here's that little bee.